Alrighty, folks. I don't think the market is ready for it, but we need to start having an honest conversation about the fact that the next Fed rate move is up, not down. Yes, I said it after the blistering PPI reading this morning, which doesn't currently count the energy increase. It is time to seriously think about raising interest rates, not lowering them. I know this is probably really negative news for the mortgage industry, but we've got to have this conversation because I don't think enough people are. Matt, the mortgage guy, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to watch because for all intents and purposes, like everybody's just counting on the fact the Fed's not going to do anything. And, this meeting, there's a 1 in a bazillion chance. Like as we're talking, Jerome Powell's saying, we're keeping our, Fed funds rate same. April meeting, I think it's like you'd have to bet $100 to win 4 that they're going to do a rate cut. But not enough people are talking about the fact that when PPI is double what it's expected or more, like 0.3 was
month on month,
0.7. There's a real chance that if, this inflation boogie monster scares enough people enough that they go, well, we probably got to hike it up 25 basis points.
Yeah, the Fed is in a really tough spot. I'm going to be really looking at their dot plot when that's released in about an hour because, again, if the Fed is honest, I think you're going to see these 4 things. And I'm calling my shot on 4 things. 1, they're going to talk about less rate cuts than the previous dot plot. Previously, they were talking 1 to 2. They're going to be talking about 0 to 1. And some of them, I think 1 or 2 people are going to be brave enough to say rates have to go up. Number 2, they have to say that unemployment is going to go higher, right? They were stuck at 4.4 or 4.5 over the next 18 months. It has to go higher. Growth has to go lower after that horrible Q4 reading at 0.7, missing expectations. Now you add war. Now you add, demand destruction. And then, oh, by the way, you've got inflation, which is just simply ripping even before the energy is rolled in next month. Dude, stagflation, just like screaming stagflation. So this is the boogeyman that they were hoping isn't coming, and it seems to be here.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? I had this picture in my head this morning, and it's funny because we've had discussions every single Wednesday, and you're watching the real estate market. You've talked to industry folks like myself who are in mortgage, real estate, title, and I feel like I had taken my final step out of quicksand, right? Yeah. After 23, 24, and 25 were just slow going transaction wise. And, we were at a place where it's like the sun is shining, buyer sentiment is back. We've got some affordability back. It's not perfect conditions, but man, it feels good. And to me, some of these latest numbers, some of this latest news and the buyer sentiment that I feel it in my conversations is like, I just stepped back into 6 inches of quicksand, in the housing market, which, it doesn't feel good I don't like to say it, but it's the truth.
No, I think that's exactly right. I mean, I came into the year in January saying we're going to be up 8 to 11% on transactions. And I just don't think that's true anymore. I think you're absolutely right. This war, and again, we could always hope it's over tomorrow, right? If this is over tomorrow, we probably can save the spring selling season, but it certainly doesn't feel like it's going to be over tomorrow. And, if this goes on 2 or 3 more weeks, you can write off the spring selling season. It will be over. And yeah, I think your analogy is right. I think there was a lot of people kind of feeling good in the real estate industry. Like, okay, trend, it's coming back. We have positive momentum for the first time, but now it's just not there. And dude, I don't have very much good news. If the Fed has to raise rates and we take mortgages back to 7.
Well, the good news, the other side of the coin is always investors will win.
Well, of course.
And it's great news for investors, which, to me is like not everybody can have it good, right?
Right.
Buyers, sellers, investors, first-time home buyers, like you can't please everybody in a market where people are uncertain. Sucks for sellers, is great for investors, is great for people out there getting good deals. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I was running some numbers. I think I did in I'll end Q1 doing about 40% of my 2025 volume.
Nice.
So, Q1's not even a big quarter. I was probably on pace to increase business from 25 to 26 by 70-80%, maybe even 100%, depending on how Q2 and Q3 went. That could slow down, but the thing that I can remind myself is, as an investor myself, coming out of this 1031 exchange, I'll get some good deals. All the one rental at a time community that seem to be talking more and more to and going deeper. I love it. Keep going to mtmg.com. Keep booking calls. Keep connecting with me and the team. I love it. One rental at a time, folks across the country. Which reminds me, we'll do an April live stream inside of school, and nice. we'll do some live pricing in there. But those are the people that are going to benefit from a little bit prolonged winter. Higher for longer is what I heard.
Higher for longer, buyer's market. Again, I feel really bad. And on the other hand, not bad at all. Right? I feel really bad because it's horrible to be a seller today. It's horrible to be a first-time home buyer. But like you said, the investors out there, the grinders, we're going to find plenty of motivated sellers, right? You got sellers who tried to sell last year and couldn't. They relisted this year and not selling. They're going to start taking stupid prices. And I don't know if you've heard this, but even Nick Gurley, I think that's how you say it, Gurley, from Reventure Consulting, the original Crash Bro, he bought a home. Just bought a property, 100K off 2021 sales price. Move in ready. The market is crashing in certain areas. Mega deals if you know where to look and how to negotiate. I could not agree with his last line more. And if Nick Gurley from Reventure Consulting is saying mega deals if you know where to look and how to negotiate, if that doesn't scream do the work, write offers, learn great deals, I don't know what else does. If a Crash Bro is buying, that tells you something.
This is an invitation to Nick Gurley. We got a great school community. You can join for $20 a month. Exactly. One rental at a time school. Come on down, Nick. It sounds like you finally made the turn. You finally seen, what it's like to be a savvy investor and do the work. So, I saw that. And the best part is, we've talked about it and investors know this. Smart investors do. Buying real estate and getting rich with real estate is a long-term play. So I think I'm going to do the math, Mike, because I'm a math nerd. I'm going to show why, Nick in his infinite wisdom thinks that he hit a home run by paying $100,000 less than he did in 21. Buying in 21 would have been better at the higher price.
I think so. I mean, if you do the math because of interest rates, and then you would consider 5 years of mortgage or rent payments and not mortgage pay down. I would love for someone to do the math. And again, he bought in Atlanta, Georgia, I found out. So again, if we take the median home price for Atlanta and then run the numbers, I had somebody do a quick math on it. It looks like he's paying about $60,000 more in interest over the life of the loan, even though he got a 100K discount.
At least. So that'll be interesting. But that's a funny little caveat. Was he a mortgage broker back in the day in Texas? I thought I heard, and then he.
I think he was a processor. I think Travis from Real Estate Mindset was a mortgage broker.
Oh, okay.
I think Nick Gurley was a processor, but I'm not sure. I don't track those guys all that well. Yeah. But it's Fed Day, and we got dot plots and we got Jerome Powell. I really think Jerome Powell's got to talk about stagflation. I think he's got to talk about raising interest rates, and I don't think the market's ready, right? I don't think the 10-year note is ready for the Fed to be a hawk and talk about raising rates. It's going to be interesting today.
The wild part too is like after that huge PPI read, rates are only like 15 or 16 basis points worse on the day.
Let's wait until after the Fed.
Well, that's the thing too, is it's going to be very interesting. I had all but written off these next couple Fed meetings as uninteresting, and what can we really learn, or what are we going to hear that's going to be surprising? Now all of a sudden, I'm also looking at that dot plot and be interested to hear what he says in the press conference at 2:30 Eastern. So when we hop off here, I'll hop on there and we'll see, because it should have had more of an effect, that huge PPI miss on the 10-year and on mortgage bonds, which it didn't. And maybe, they were just waiting for this afternoon and more data from the Fed and
the dot plot's going to be interesting. Also, I can only imagine the questions. Again, I remember Jerome Powell joking 9 months ago, I don't see the stag or the inflation. He can't say that now. And it'll be interesting if he comes out and actually admits, because again, stagflation is the boogeyman. Stagflation is a worst case scenario. The Fed is effed if our economy goes into that, because they can't fight two battles at the same time. They're going to have to pick one. And I don't know that it's going to be the one that we want them to pick.
I was trying to check on mortgage-backed securities, and for some reason my MBS Highway logins changed, so I'll stop being distracted trying to check that out. But we'll see what they say, and then it'll be interesting to also see, like you said, if some people start talking about hike, what that's going to look like on future Fed meetings. Which as of late, it's just been stay the same or cut.
Right.
And which
up's
one
not been an option. That's
right.
I don't think they can do that anymore. I think up has to be an option.
Hike is going to be an option. You jump on Kalshi, see if you want to bet it, if you get good enough odds. I looked today just for fun, Mike, and you were getting about 32 to 1 odds on a cut. So bet $25, win 800.
Yeah.
If you bet there was going to be a cut today, and then they were so certain there wouldn't be a cut that I couldn't put in a number. It wouldn't allow me to bet. I wasn't going to bet. I was just checking the odds. It basically, betting closed. Even if someone wanted to bet $5,000 to win 10 or something.
Yeah, it couldn't happen, huh? Yeah. Again, I think today's a big nothing burger. Again, it's not about today. It's about the message. It's about the future. And you're right. Jerome Powell has a short term. Right? He's short term now. He's done in May, right? It's like 2 months away. And it's almost his swan song. He's got one more meeting after this, and it'll be interesting to see how he goes out.
Just a quick hike before he leaves.
Yeah, exactly. Here,
one middle finger before he steps out the door.
Peace. Here's a hike for you.
50 basis point hike. See you later, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks.
peace. Burn it down. Burn it down. Oh man, it's going to be a crazy day. Matt, I always appreciate you. I do think we need to talk about hikes. I agree with you. It does hurt most of the market, but one rental at a time, fans who have a buy box, disrespectful offers, follow up. Your opportunity to find motivated sellers has never been better. Matt, where can they find you?
Go to mtmg.com, fill out a quick form. Do me a favor, put some notes in there. I got a call this afternoon, and this ORAT, one rental at a time community member, did it perfect. I'm an ORAT guy. I'm in Tennessee. I've got too many, conventional properties. I got to do a DSCR loan. I love that. Just going into the call, I know what we're going to talk about, and I know where you're at and how I can help. So, mtmg.com, schedule a call with me and the team. Let us know where you're at and what you're looking to do, and we'll jump on a call and add value and help any way we can.
There you go, buddy. I appreciate you. Have a good week.
All right. You too. Thanks, Mike.